Millions of gullible people are mentally colonized by racist British idiots, so they believe subhumans existed, and were the natives of Iberia or invaders also, in some cases. Look at this. Look at this. My kindergartners can do this. This is so easy to fake. Look at this so-called science. Propaganda from the devil. Human macroevolution mythology. Neanderthal DNA. Dark to light racist shit. Proof macroevolution is literally impossible. The mind is free to think. So it is not a slave to physics. So it is not physical. So genes can't determine intelligence. So DNA evolution can't make a species into a smarter one. It takes only 24 words to destroy Darwin. And I must say, as I have said elsewhere in my channel, the typical atheist response is to deny that the atheists can think. So that's how ridiculous they are. They say, "You're wrong because we can't think." Actually, it takes only 15 words to destroy Darwin because what I put there can be condensed even further. Mind, free, ergo, not, slave, to, physics, ergo, not, physical, ergo, genes, can't, determine, intelligence. Here's Antichrist propaganda of the devil. Let's connect these with these and put these over here and rearrange this tree that we imagine existed, and with our bullshit dates, let's call it science too. And let's keep repeating the lie so the people who watch TV and believe everything, like when Bush said Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, those people, those gullible people who never question what they're taught because they're like the Simpsons simpletons. Those people. Let's keep repeating it until they believe it's the truth. After all, you can't question scientists. You shouldn't be a free thinker. You shouldn't have a mind of your own. Connect the dots games. Macroevolutionary phylogeny mythology is just like astrology, except it's racist, so it's worse. What do you think of radiometric dating? My series on the history of atheism covers how the establishment's dating methods involve rational assumptions equivalent to eggs decay at this rate, so when we put the egg in a washing machine, the decay rate is just as slow as usual. Early dinosaurs never existed. Earth is in a state of flux. You got volcanoes, earthquakes, animals digging through the soil, plant roots pushing things around, the occasional human activity such as dynamite and mining and whatever else could happen to move stuff around. Therefore, the longer one assumes Earth existed or an item existed in the Earth, the more likely the date is unreliable. The house of cards that they built for dates, and you see that many assumptions such as this was quarantined free from contamination and leaching, the material eventually dated, but many other conclusions are based on quicksand. Only the gullible trust in such claims as millions of years. The Jewish calendar says that we are in this year, 5,783. Even if that's not perfectly accurate, it's way closer to reality than the zillion years or whatever nonsense number the Antichrist establishment comes up with to try to make sense of fossilization by long ages when just one volcanic eruption can do the job. Ice ages also never occurred. The supposed proof for them is scratches on earth walls. The great flood moving boulders and stuff around can cause scratches on walls too. They never show alternative points of view to the ones they want you to buy into. They don't encourage free thinking. The most common argument for believing in millions of years is just idiots telling you, you can't think for yourself and only scientists can. The ad hominem adivere quindiam and argument from incredulity fallacy combination. History shows how often scientists lied. They're paid shells to promote an agenda. They get funding with conditions applying, strings attached. So if they want to advance economically, they need to toe the line. The only alternative theories allowed are the ones keeping the same fundamental assumptions, such as only nature exists, which science never says. That's atheist dogma. I love Lucy. See, they name her Lucy. Why Lucy? Why did the so-called concoction Australopithecus africensis, or whatever they call it, the pseudo-scientific term, Why do they call her Lucy, if it's even a her? And if it's even one creature instead of more than one's remains put together as a Franken reconstruction? It's because of the Lucifer connection. Because this is the source of the myth. Satan is the father of lies. Satan is behind that shit. And the Beatles, it is said, are the origin of the name Lucy because they like the Beatles. And there was a song, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which is a reference to LSD, the drug, because hippies are drug addicts. But also, and more deeply, it is this. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is a cryptic way to say Lucifer in heaven with glory. And here's my video proving Darwin worshipped Satan. So if you believe in macroevolution, you're Satan's slave, and the best slave thinks he's free. Neanderthals are just humans misinterpreted. This is Sébastien Chabal, a French rugby player who actually dressed up as a caveman because people say that he looks like a caveman. The stereotype, caricature, pseudoscientific notion of one. Here he is up close. Notice particularly the lower forehead or brow. Now, Reddit is a piece of shit website full of piece of shit people. I got banned from Reddit because I said Huns were not atheists. They worshipped Tengri. See my video exposing the atheist propaganda in Age of Empires. Anyway, scientists recreated what Neanderthals might look like today. Student and all. Reddit. Interesting as fuck. Oh, you're so cool because you use the word fuck. No, you're not cool. And so it says scientists recreate. This art is subjective. Art is almost always subjective. The amount of subjectivity here is off the charts. But of course, if a scientist poops, it's scientific poop, right? No, it stinks just like everything else that poops. All other poop. Jeremy Paxman looks like this guy a lot. But someone will say Paxman's British brow lacks the prominence of the Neanderthals. Exactly. That is a characteristic more common to Africans than Europeans, because this is racist shit. The gist is, subhumans have to look more African. And since Neanderthals are meant to be a missing link between so-called Lucy, the subhuman from around Ethiopia, or in Ethiopia, or wherever it was, Kenya, they gotta link that to Europeans, so they're like, let's put this guy as the link because he's a mix of African features and European features. See, he's white, but he's also got this African-like forehead here. Not all Africans have it, but a lot do. A lot more than Europeans. And here's Mike Tyson. The skull. How aliens would reconstruct the animal, if aliens existed, that is. And the animal. This proves that, yeah, it can look legit, but doesn't prove it's legit. Scientific so-called reconstructions aren't scientific. They're just as scientific as this. It's all about the imagination. That's the basis of atheist mythology. The establishment of so-called reconstructions of so-called subhumans is shit. Not scientific. As if they could tell the number of hairs, their texture, their color, the eye's color, etc. Assuming the fossils, so-called, are even real and not a mix of different creature parts in a species concoction. But it's been peer-reviewed. Your bandwagon ad with a Kundian fallacy combination of circle jerking by paid shells doesn't impress a freethinker.